When I got the big deal for the company, I got a ring from my girlfriend. Happy to share the circle of friends. Thought she was finally gonna officially marry me. And then my girlfriend's new male assistant suddenly slapped me and flipped over my desk. He said angrily to me, "You're still the director. Stealing a present from my wife. Can I get some face?" Not only did my girlfriend not argue. Instead, he said I didn't deserve it. Announce in public that the male assistant is taking over the big project I just talked about. That's when I realized it wasn't me my girlfriend wanted to announce. It's him. Now, the whole office is holding up their phones to watch me make a fool of myself. But I wasn't angry. Instead, he smiled and shoved the badge into the arms of the male assistant. I said to him flatly, "It turned out to be the president's wife. I'll take the position of director as an apology. I wish you a lifetime of happiness." To see me acting out of character, my colleague gave me a hand in shock. Whisper. Don't be impulsive. Just talk about a lost project. But what he doesn't know is, I'm not impulsive. I was walking by the office yesterday. Heard my girlfriend's male assistant, David, haunting her. "Sophia, I want to make something of myself. You entrust me with this newly discussed project. I will do well." Wow, you. I didn't think so at the time. My girlfriend Sophia and I were secret lovers for 7 years. So I turned down the offer of a big company. Help her start this company. I brokered 90% of the projects in this firm. She knows how hard it's been. And she's a very principled person. There's no way we're gonna do anything about a project. Not to mention the fact that she was robbed by a power freak. I hate people like that. That's why I saw Sophia's ring today. I thought she'd finally figured out that I was the best. "You're going to marry me." But I didn't think David would do the opposite. And made me look like a thief. It makes me look bad. I didn't realize that David had only been on the job for a few months. Sophia can throw away the line for him. In this case, what do I have to do with this stupid company? Sophia doesn't know yet. I have seen through their childish schemes. I thought I was jealous. Sophia said, frowning at me. "What the hell are you doing?" Ever since David showed up, Sophia always looks at me with a bias. I didn't waste my breath this time. I just looked at Sophia calmly and said, "You think too much." I did give it to him. Girlfriend and position. They're all for him. I wasn't planning on staying longer. On the point of leaving, Sophia dragged me to the office with a cold face. The company is not big. The office is not soundproofed. She just closed the office door. The employees watching from the outside are ready to move. Just suck up to David. When are you going to get married and have kids? David responded sheepishly. Girls suffer when they give birth. I can't decide when I want it, can I? He's acting like Sophia's real boyfriend. And with Sophia's acquiescence, employees believe it. Sophia Wunyen. The hand pouring water suddenly froze. She found herself indebted to me. Always strong, she also rarely soft tone explained. David is a child and doesn't know better. He just said it because it was funny. Don't worry about it. He has relatives in Party A's company. This project can be negotiated. Thanks to him. I looked at Sophia speechless. So funny. Party A Thunder Company has a professional technical department. They do not need to outsource cooperation. So he refused to cooperate from the start. I am not willing to find every opportunity to meet with the person in charge of Party A. He generously gave me 30 seconds. And I took the opportunity to introduce the product. When you see what I can do. He can't poach me for a lot of money. That's when we agreed to cooperate. I've been pulling all-nighters for projects. Sophia can't be seen. David said it casually. But she believed it. But Sophia can see clearly if she thinks a little bit about it. If David had that connection, I wouldn't be an assistant at this tiny, crappy firm. Maybe Sophia understands everything. Just pretending. See me slow to speak. Sophia lowers her eyes for a moment. She got up and made me a cup of coffee. Come up to my little ear channel. He and I were just acting. I'm only gonna marry you. Every fight I've ever had. When Sophia made her promise in a soft voice, I forgave her without principle. So this time Sophia thinks I'll be the same. She waved her hand. I'm just gonna go back to work. I'm in charge of the project. But what she doesn't know is, I don't want her anymore. I brushed away my chair and stood up. I spoke firmly to Sophia. Don't bother. I'll just go. With this. I pulled out my resignation form. After the writing is done. Without hesitation, he turned and walked out of the office. David saw me leaving. Hurriedly stopped. He said, feigning grievance. James. I know you're the best in the business. You're right. I don't deserve the position of Director of Technology. I'll give it back to you. He clutched his badge. Just shove it all over me. I just gave it a little push. And he fell down. Knocked over the chair and tore over the computer. Alerted colleagues around. David got up. Face a caring colleague. He waved his hand generously and said it didn't matter. Disturbed by the movement, Sophia is wearing 10-centimeter heels. Come running. Until we know David's okay. She said, frowning at me. James. Just because you're an old employee doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Colleagues around the smell of words have jumped out to advise me. Yeah. James. The replacement of the old and the new is also for the development of the company. You can't use your seniority to bully a newcomer. And the one with the worst words is Mark, the apprentice I promoted. Didn't we just talk about a few projects? You really think you're the boss? You're addicted to cliques. I can't believe you're a genius like David. I've worked with you for years. I'm the crown again. In the past, anyone who saw me would respectfully call Mr. James. Now one after another is staring at me with gloating. Wish I could get out of here. Doesn't matter. These people can say whatever they want, right? I'm out of service. I left the office without saying a word. Sophia trotted up to catch up. She saw no one else around. Sophia, she said to me, rubbing her brow. You've just been so tired lately. I'll give you leave. You take some time off. Today is the 7th anniversary of our relationship. You wait for me at home. I have a surprise for you. As Sophia finished talking, the elevator just arrived. I stepped into it. Didn't say anything. Come home. I cooked my own food. Didn't wait for her. And she didn't come back until dark. I dressed my shoes and went out to meet the person in charge of Party A. Ran into a colleague on the way. The boy is slow to react. So he didn't distance himself from me as much as other colleagues. He greeted me warmly. James. You're going to Sophia's promotion party for Director David. Together we. But the fare is double. He said happily that he finally did not have to squeeze the subway. I shook my head. Not. He gave me an awkward look. Sophia didn't call you. I nod indifferent step away. It's nice to hear him mumbling about Sophia. And I didn't look back. She never defended herself. Sophia was just protecting David. For David. She's capable of anything. It's not the first time Sophia has missed a date. I was hospitalized with pneumonia. She said she'd come see me at the hospital after the meeting. But I waited until dawn before she arrived. Sophia said she was working overtime. I was actually watching a movie with David. Some time ago. We're supposed to do a couple's photo shoot. I waited until the store closed in a suit. Sophia took her time to get here. She said she got caught up in some last-minute work. Actually, I took David shopping to buy some clothes that fit me. The list goes on and on. Every time I ask. Sophia scolded me like her job was the most important thing. This kind of relationship model is really tired. In the cafe. The person in charge of Party A saw the progress I submitted. He said to me in amazement. James. Are you sure you're not thinking about jumping ship? 10 times your salary. This time I didn't say no. The person in charge of Party A proposed happily. Can we talk about anything we want? Negotiate the benefits package with him. I came home. Sophia has already packed the dishes. Sit on the couch and wait for me. She broke the appointment again. Sophia used to explain a lot. You didn't say anything this time. She was silent for a moment. He pushed the lunchbox in front of me. You must be tired today, too. Just don't cook. It's hot enough to eat. I looked down. A plastic lunchbox with all sorts of dishes piled up in an unappealing way. There are stir-fried and boiled. I even saw a piece of bread soaked in soup. I obviously didn't finish it. Ill-packed. Sophia can't even sort and pack. Just one big box mixed. Just looking at it sucks. I waved my hand. Need not. I already ate. Sophia gave me a deep look. Always cold, she took the initiative to encircle my waist. Excuse me. He just got promoted, after all. As a boss, I have to make a statement. I know you suffered during the day. Let's get it this weekend. Ho ho. That's a nice thing to say. But when I got promoted to director, I happily offered to treat myself to a promotion dinner. I sat in the box eagerly waiting. The waiter reheated the dish 5 times. Wait until the store closes. None of my colleagues dared to show up. I sent out messages one by one. All in vain. A kind colleague quietly asked me if I had offended the president. I didn't know why. I didn't know until afterwards, while I'm away from the office. With a cold face, Sophia scolded each colleague who said she was going to the dinner party. Maybe there's less work schedule. Be too busy thinking about eating, drinking and playing day by day. Are you the kind of losers this company pays for? Might as well get the hell out of here. I thought about this. She broke her restless hand around my waist. Apathy path. That's not necessary. Sophia. Let's break up. The atmosphere in the room suddenly froze. Sophia gasped. The repressed emotions broke out. I'm making sacrifices for the company. Everyone else's boyfriend would love that. Why can't you tell? I ignored her heresy. It's Sophia taking care of herself as usual. Mumbling about the importance of growing the company. About waiting for the company to go public. Will give me a place. I'm getting calluses out of my ears. Just raise your hand and cut Sophia off. It isn't necessary. I'll just pack up and move out. Sophia has been the boss for so many years. It was the first time she had been interrupted. Her face flushed with anger. He stared at me for a long time. Just a cold snort. Need not. I'll just go. Sophia slammed the door and left. I didn't catch up. Silently packing things. Partier's company has arranged a luxurious single-room staff dormitory for me for free. You can move there anytime you want. I just finished packing my stuff. The moving company was called. When they're ready to move. I walked in on David walking Sophia home. They interlocked their fingers. Talking and laughing together. Sophia also changed the distant attitude of the cold goddess. Keep your head down and smile. She stood by David's side. You look like a little bird. David found me first. And hold it tighter on purpose. Sophia doesn't see it right. He followed his eyes and saw me. Throw away one's hand. She came to me with a habit of explaining. But when he saw me loading my stuff into the car, Sophia was stunned for a moment before she asked. It's so late. Where are you going? Blind. So big moving company 4 big words can't be seen. I was just about to keep moving. And Sophia was stuck in front of me. Suddenly he gave me the clothes he was carrying. See, I'm not moving. She pulled out her clothes and pointed them at me. I know you've been too busy to buy clothes lately. I stopped by the mall and bought it for you. Bought it for me. My body type is all XL. This shirt is a size M. On the list pulled from the bag. The payment card ending in Sophia's number. It costs over $10,000. Where did you get it for me? You took David to the store to pick it out. That's very generous. Just 2 days ago. I bought a $200 shirt. Ask Sophia how she looks. She scolded me with a cold face for wasting money. I spent over an hour teaching me how hard it is to make money. And you can't say you're as good as you are. How? That would make it easier to make money. I put my hands in my pockets. Look at them coldly and say. That's not necessary. The clothes make the man and the saddle. A dog runs with a bell. I'll leave the expensive clothes to Director David. David then laid his clothes on for a moment. After the reaction, he hurled his clothes angrily. Don't you dare call me names. He glared at me with red eyes. If we come up, we're gonna do it. I'm staying put. He fell to the ground with a slap. Exceed. I dare hit you. David's slender limbs are like wooden poles. The reason you hit me during the day. I was just caught off guard. Now. I gave him back the slap. Sophia let out a cry. I held David in my arms with love. James. Have something to say. Why would you hit someone? If you want to go, go. Don't come back. She needn't say more. I had no intention of coming back. I turned and followed the movers into the car. Hurtling towards a new life. Post-employment. I went straight into the company. Entrusted with the task. Sophia's company again. As the project leader of Partier's company, I was welcomed in by the front desk. As soon as I got to the office, I saw David wearing his chief supervisor's badge. Shuttle between the various staff stations. With dignity and dignity. This logo is enlarged a little bit. Zoom out a little bit more. I told you to make it black, not pure black. It's the colorful black of a crow's wing. Looks like the first edition is better overall. But font, I like the 7th edition. The colors are from the 16th edition. Send it to me when you're done today. The colleagues at the station are very angry. Someone couldn't resist answering back. This version has already been approved by Party A's company. The main problem now is the stability of the program. David gave a cold snort. Your company is a nouveau riche. Does he know what real art is? I'm the director. Listen to me. With my top aesthetic. Party A guarantees satisfaction. Maybe he'll give us more money when he's happy. Ask SB to do STH. Their company developed a new system. Just to provide convenience to the majority of users. It's not an online art show. Moreover, I can't even read the colorful letters. Are you ready to contribute to the hospital ophthalmology? Even David's level can be reused. No wonder it's getting worse. The program crashed as soon as it ran. The quality is shrinking out of shape. A colleague saw me. Once those hostile eyes. They turned to asking for help. And Mark, the apprentice who said that to me. He's already been kicked off the creative team. A runner who pays for his own coffee. David gave me a scornful glance. Looks like I'm gonna have to talk to Sophia about adding a security post. Otherwise, what kind of dog can get into the company? The receptionist is hunched over. I was gonna remind him to watch his mouth. James is here on behalf of a company. In the next second, Sophia jumped right past me at the height of the sky. She thought I was here to make a mistake. Sophia snorted. Yo! Isn't that Director James? I know it's hard to get a job out there. Want to come back? David snorted. Say it with the best of intentions. I'm very optimistic about James' abilities. I think we can put him in charge. Do a good job under me. It won't take long to make a difference. Sophia folded her arms and looked at me with disdain. Be in charge. He deserves it too. It's not impossible to come back. But start over at the bottom. Have wages. Full deduction of performance commissions. The other colleagues gasped. They are estranged from me. For fear of being tainted by bad luck. I couldn't help laughing. Sophia still doesn't know. I've literally become the project leader of her funding company. I'm not the one who wants to be followed. Sophia raised her eyebrows. Curiosity Road. What are you laughing at? I silently took a contract out of my briefcase. Slap on the table. Reacquaint yourself with. I'm James, Director of Technology at Thunder Corporation. I came to inform you. Project suspension. Termination of contract. Contempt in the eyes of Sophia and David. It was a moment of total shock. A crowded, noisy office. Now I can hear the needle. I don't know how long it's been. There was a slight noise from the crowd. Someone let out a sound of national culture in shock. To break the weirdness of this whole thing. Sophia straightened up and looked me over. James. You're not crazy. David smiled with relief. James. This joke is not funny. Joke. I said, looking coldly at Sophia. Is it a joke? Look at the contract for yourself. Sophia grimaced. Get together with David to read the contract. Their faces grew worse. When Sophia found out I was really the director of the company. Look at me in disbelief and say. Termination of contract. Is this your revenge? She thinks a lot. I don't have time for that. The quality you submitted is not in conformity with what we discussed at the beginning. It has also affected our reputation. It's not just the termination of the contract. This is the compensation you have to pay. With this, I pulled a document out of my briefcase again. Sophia sees the string of numbers. His eyes widened. Path of shock. You're robbing the money. I threw my hands in the air. If you don't agree, you can file a lawsuit with the court. Thunder Legal will stand by you until the end. Take leave. I turned and walked away, leaving a bunch of people staring at each other. Just walked out the door. I heard Sophia growling at the receptionist. Why didn't you say so sooner? This whole situation is your fault. You're fired. Sophia is the same as ever. I know how to get angry. It is clear that the culprit of all this is her cover-up leader. And David, who has no talent but runs the show. All she does is target innocent receptionists. I just got behind the elevator. Mark, catch up. Keep your head down and apologize. Master, you take me away. I know it was wrong. All this kid ever makes me pay for his coffee. Let me run errands. Do nothing good. Mark was working for me right out of college. Triennium. I gave you everything I had. Practically chewed up the knowledge and fed it to him. Instead, he stepped on me when I was down. And now he wants to lick his face and follow me back. There's no such thing as that. I said, looking at him coldly. What did Mark say? Someone like me who only knows how to run a clique. I can't give you a promotion. The science of sycophancy. You do have a lot to learn from David. Mark's face went completely white. And I was stepping into the elevator. I saw Sophia rushing over. I hit the elevator first. She stomped her feet angrily. He shouted at me with a stiff mouth. Not just one project. It's gone, it's gone. I'll show you more projects. I don't believe it. The company can't survive without you. I didn't respond. With the foundation I laid. Even if I'm not here. Normal operation of the company. Not to go out of business. But if the top job goes to David. That's hard to say. I went back to work and led the team. We did a great job developing a new system. The boss gave a dinner to congratulate me. The boss reserved a big box specially. Our entire tech department. Everyone's locking arms. Walk in with a big smile. I was surrounded and just about to go in. I saw Sophia sweating. Appeared in the doorway embarrassed. She broke a heel in her high heel. Did you change your phone number? She lost her aggressive tone. Just a whining question. All these days when I can't be reached. Sophia is very anxious. I don't know where she got the wind. I can't believe I made it to my victory party. I passed her through the door. Sophia can't wait to catch up. I stopped walking and looked at her coldly. This is our company dinner. Let the outsiders out, please. Miss Manners walked over to Sophia awkwardly. Excuse me, lady. Our shop is booked by this guest today. You can take care of it next time. Sophia looked at me as I entered. Cry out. I'm his girlfriend. I'm here to find him. Miss Manners kept a friendly smile on her face. But that gentleman doesn't know you. I'd like you to step outside. Sophia said my name several times. I didn't even write back. She stomped away angrily. The boss looked at me with a smile. You never wanted to leave before. It's for her. I pulled the corners of my mouth and smiled. Right. But not anymore. The boss smiled and patted me on the shoulder. Let's not talk about the past. Today is your victory party. Eat, drink and have fun. Adequate control of funds. Everyone cheered. There was a steady stream of adulation. I answered them all with a smile and a glass in my hand. Sophia is standing outside the store waiting. Shivering with cold. She sprawled miserably through the clear glass. Just stare at me. I waved for the waiter. Her eyes widened. Excited to think I relented. However, when the waiter used to just turn her away, Sophia's face changed completely. Sullen dread. Wait until you're fed and drunk. I go out. Farewell to colleagues ready to take a taxi home. Sophia rubbed her squatting legs. In front of my face. Tears trickled down. How can you go to the right company? James. Do you know? The company we started together is dying. I looked at her coldly and said. I left long ago. I had nothing to do with it failing. Just then, David came running across the street. Lovingly put a coat on Sophia. He turned and questioned me. Are you still a man? Make your girlfriend wait out in the cold. Sophia just took advantage of me. Are you upset? But you're not gonna blow up every project in the company. This is an attempt to get back at Sophia. Listen to his accusations. I just found out. Turns out, ever since Thunder cut ties. It's like pushing the dominoes. Other projects have also stumbled. Was forced out of the contract. Most of the company's work has stopped now. And pay a lot of liquidated damages. The most important is companies living beyond their means. There are also daily expenses such as rent, utilities, and staff salaries. For every day shut down, Sophia's gonna lose a lot of money. At the moment, she has lost all sense of pride. Just look at me and say, James, I didn't know until after you left. The company loses its core without you. Can you come back? The position of director is still yours. Let's start over. David heard this. His face suddenly changed. Sophia. I admit that he has more experience than I do. But can he understand what young people like? Can you keep up with the new era? David's been rambling on. Always used to his Sophia. This time, he didn't protect him. I just couldn't resist telling the truth. That's enough, David. Don't you know that? The reason the company is where it is today. You just don't have the power. I don't know what you're doing. Look at the useless places and revise it every day. The details that really need attention. You don't take it seriously. The project got screwed up. This was cancelled by the various partners. And pay compensation. David, who is narcissistic, is suddenly dumb. His fists clenched. His eyes turned red. David cried to Sophia. I'm sorry, Sophia. I'm a loser. People like me don't deserve to live. David ran out into the street like crazy. Running through a red light. Scared the drivers into braking. Let out a shower of curses. Sophia's face changed with fear. I just want to follow. See me waiting for the bus. She hesitated for a moment and clenched her teeth. Excuse me. I'm afraid something's happened to him. That's for today. I'll talk to you another time. My number hasn't changed. You remember to add it back. We chat online. With this, Sophia called out David's name. Catch up. The car I ordered arrived. Straight into the car. Didn't pay any attention to her. Laugh one's head off. Have all broken up. Thought I'd add it back. Come home at night. I saw several friend requests from Sophia. Keep asking me why I didn't pass. I didn't even write back. Have a good sleep. On the way to work the next day, Sophia was stuck in traffic with a black eye. James. You really don't care if I live or die. I really don't have a choice. I walked around her without words. Don't you have a top student who studied overseas? Just let him figure it out. Sophia, I knew you were still mad. He promised with a smile. I know you're still mad at him. I already fired him. The position of director will always be yours. You can laugh when you're speechless. I work as a director in a big company and my boss takes over. The salary is still high. Why would you want to be a slave at Sophia's failing company? I shook my head and started to go. At this moment, suddenly there was a cry from the building opposite. Round up. David was standing on the opposite rooftop. Call Sophia. Sophia. I was too full of myself and a loser. I betrayed your trust. The company is about to go bankrupt. How is firing me enough? I can't afford to pay you. I'll have to pay with my life. Sophia burst into tears. David, calm down. I'm just temporarily firing you. And then the company got better. Why don't you come back? David was adamant. I don't want to hold you back. Sophia's face turned pale. Clench one's teeth. David. Come down. The position of director is still yours. I wasn't watching. After Sophia answered the phone, she left. I don't know what they said after that. It's just something that alerted the firemen. Everyone in the noisy neighborhood knows. Even my colleagues are talking about it. The kid who jumped knows. He's threatening the company. Didn't dare to really jump. Got dragged back by the firemen and freaked out. A group of people laughed and joked. I am busy. The morning passed quickly. My colleagues and I went downstairs for dinner. Sophia runs over with the coffee she just bought. James, I'm sorry. The circumstances were extraordinary. But don't worry. I promised him the job. I didn't say anything about the department, did I? She winked at me playfully. I started a whole new department. Give him an empty boss to play with. The position of director of technical department belongs only to you. I think of Sophia as heir. Pull a colleague past her. Go eat that steak. Sophia was left out. Follow me all the way. She wanted a chance to talk to me alone. But I finished my meal and went into the office. She can't keep up. Afterwards, Sophia brings me flowers at the door every day. I know you hate David. I've distanced myself from him. James. Let's make up. She brings me a homemade breakfast every day. It's not the same. But I didn't answer any of them. When I was all over her. She was enjoying my good. And he's getting tangled up with David. Now I've left her. Only no regret. It's already late. It was so cold that I didn't notice I had a cold. I passed a ward on my way to the hospital. Sophia is carefully serving David lying on the bed. Speak softly. David. This is the porridge I just made. A little hot. I'll blow it before you drink it. By the way. What else would you like to eat? I'll do it for you. She talked and talked. Caught me out of the corner of my eye. Put down the bowl in shock. Sophia came up and grabbed me. He kept explaining. I really distanced myself from him. But he blew on the roof some time ago. Scared again. I fell ill. I didn't want to take care of him. But he has relatives in your company. I was afraid he'd retaliate. For you. I took care of him. For me again. Her excuses are always the same. Reuse. Don't you get tired of it? Still less. The day David jumped. I met David's aunt, who's the captain of the cleaning team. David is trying to get back at me. Do you want his aunt to pull my cable? I threw her hand away. Took a step back to keep his distance. I said seriously. Sophia. We broke up. Nothing to do with. Who do you want to take care of? And who walked close? I had nothing to do with it. Sophia was stunned. A red eye. She suddenly saw the list in my hand. Asked hastily. James. Are you sick? What's wrong? Let me get your medicine. You have a good rest. Sophia raised her hand and grabbed the registration slip. I was about to say no. David suddenly shouted from the hospital room. Sophia. My head hurts. I think I'm dying. I need you to call a doctor. There's an emergency bell at the bedside of every ward. There were nurses coming and going around. But Sophia is still in a panic. She pushed me away. I rushed in to comfort David. Sophia puts her arms around David. Calm him softly. And in the corner where she can't see, David looked into my eyes. It's full of provocation. Like a winner. I shake my head. Take the slip to the window and get the medicine. When Sophia remembers. I'm already gone. She's been looking for me all over the hospital. Then it went quiet for a while. Sophia's out again. Even worse than before. She sold all her valuable jewelry. I sold all the clothes I could. Just to raise a little money. Sophia, she looked at me. Tears trickled down. Wronged Baba said to me. James. When you were running those businesses. It must be hard. Get a lot of eye roll. Still try to hold on. Original. She's been busy running her own business these days. That's how I understand what I've been through. I smiled and said. Yeah. When your company first started. Too small. I'm the tech guy who does all the talking. Now it's different. I just have to do what I have to do. There is a special department for negotiating orders. Don't worry about me. Not tired at all. And the pay is high. Sophia froze. Very awkward. Wrestle for a moment. She gritted her teeth. What is the salary? I can get you a technical share. How tiring it is to work for others. You might as well be your own boss. I sneer. To be the owner of a failing company. Sophia was just about to explain. Then her cell phone rang. On the other end. The employee said eagerly. Sophia. You have to come back. Director David, he slit his wrists. Sophia shivered. Take a step and go. But when he looked me in the eye. She stopped walking. Grit one's teeth. Under the cruel said. What, Director David? He has been expelled. If he kills himself, call the police and take him to the hospital. I'm not a doctor. What do you need me for? With this. Sophia hung up the phone. And he was holding me back. Said she deleted all of David's contact information. Definitely won't be in touch again. He wouldn't let me go. And then he went on and on and on about David. That's when I knew. Sophia's been on the road lately. Finally, because of the previous performance. They settled on a small deal. And when David took over. The price is too low. Have a bad attitude. And got into an argument with his partner on the spot. The partner got angry and terminated the contract. And blocked the company. Going around bad-mouthing the company. And Sophia's reputation is all over the place. There really isn't a chance now. She didn't respond when she saw me. Sophia is playing the emotional card again. Trying to get me to change my mind. Think back to when we started the company. I have to break every penny in half to use it. Then came the money. I don't want to spend. Where? She just didn't want to give me flowers. It's a present for David. That's not the same. David is a recent graduate. His family is of modest means. Can dress up every day handsome. On Sophia's charity. So to speak. All over David. Including the underpants. Sophia bought them all. And I've done so much for this company for her. And nothing. Now think about it. I was really in love at the time. Why do you put up with it? Sophia doesn't know what I'm thinking. He's still babbling on and on. You had a hard time getting your first project. You were too happy to sleep all night. Saying the company is your baby. You gotta watch it get better and better. Then a lot of companies poached you. You didn't even leave. James. Can I beg you? The company needs you. I can't leave you either. She choked as she spoke. I threw her hand away again. Solemn way. Sophia. I'm only gonna say this one last time. We're done. Later. Don't bother me again. Sophia looked at my back as I resolutely left. She walked to the edge of the river. Exclaim. James. If you don't help me, I'm gonna die. I didn't look back. Just say one word to Sophia and walk off. I'm not you. Not because of anyone's threats. It's easy to drop the line. Take care of yourself. There was a splash of water behind him. Passers-by around exclaimed. Everyone ran to save people. I'm the only one who's going in the opposite direction. Unwaveringly. Sophia jumped into the river. But he was soon rescued. Finally. Her company went out of business. Not only that. She also ran up a large debt. Is being sued by employees who haven't been paid. Then David asked her to marry him. She said yes. Post-nuptial. The funny David in her eyes had changed completely. Or not willing to pretend. David plays video games all the time. And do nothing. Just waiting for Sophia to work hard. Sophia's paying off her debts. And raise him at the same time. Sophia is under a lot of pressure. He works all day and runs a stall at night. An accident. I walked by Sophia's stall. She was the one who recognized me. But she just said a word. Wearing a white t-shirt and sitting on the side of the road playing video games, David suddenly put away his phone. The slap landed in Sophia's face. David said with a look of disgust. Sophia. And you called him. You want him back so badly. Just go. David's just in worse shape than me. Manhood. He's got a lot of strength. How can Sophia resist? She was wearing a dirty apron. Once white fingers long cocoon. Passers-by stepped forward to dissuade. Sophia looked at me aggrieved. And I ignored it. I leave coldly.